my involvement with shamanism has been a deepening meditation over now about 20 years. And it seems to me very fruitful because it continues to change and integrate itself ever more deeply into the meaning of reality at large. So that for me, shamanism has become a kind of overarching metaphor for not only personal being in the world, but the historical adventure, the being of the species in the world. So I want to talk about it today, and as an advocate, I want to make it seem indispensable to living a life of right reason in the world. I want to show that without shamanism, the notion of humanism itself is in a kind of jeopardy. And probably most of us can find ourselves in agreement with that. But then I want to leave most of us behind and go further and suggest that this humanness rooted in shamanism is a humanness ultimately rooted in very complex symbiotic relationships with plants and chemicals in the environment. I want to argue, in fact, that people without plants are in a state of potential neurosis, a state of existential wanting, and that in fact part of the Western dilemma is the sense of abandonment that followed with the breaking off of these symbiotic relations with vision-producing plants that characterize the rise of Western monotheism and even more characterize the rise of modern society. But let me return then to the origins, because this is where I think the case can be made. My interpretation of the time we're living through and this amorphous movement that we all somehow in some way are a part of, which calls itself the New Age or what have you. I call it the Archaic Revival. And the reason I call it the Archaic Revival is rooted in my conviction that it is in fact a revivifying of the models and energy forms of archaism. And shamanism, then, is suddenly centrally highlighted. Shamanism was the profession ne plus ultra of the Upper Neolithic era. And what was this profession precisely about? Well, it was about exploring the envelope of cognition, pushing against the linguistic membrane of what it was possible to say, symbolize, conceive, and communicate. Now, why should one species, out of all those competing on the earth, attain somehow a kind of mega-adaptive ability that causes a kind of compression of biological time into the phenomenon that we call history? Is it simply, as our theologians have always been forced to conceive, that divine agency entered into the mechanism of the world and somehow set a spark in motion that kindled and grew into humanity? Or is it, as the 19th century explored so exhaustively, the possibility that incremental change can eventually initiate and insinuate into a situation new states of higher orders including even possibly the state of higher order that we call self-reflecting consciousness. But somehow this is no more than a gradual refinement out of previous states of nature. Well, what I want to suggest is that it is a bit of both of these points of view, the divine intervention and the evolutionary. I think what evolutionary biologists have missed in looking at the emergence of human beings out of the primate phylogeny is, generally speaking, the mutagenic influence of foods. The fact that a fruit-eating arboreal primate, because of a situation of spreading dryness in the environment, evolved into a pack-hunting creature of the grasslands with an omnivorous diet. And omnivores, by their very nature, expose themselves to a very large number of mutagenic influences. I'm speaking now chemically. Mutagenic influences that interfere with correct copying of protein, interfere with spacing of children, lactation, interfere with mentation, psychoactive compounds in the food chain. And it's very interesting that as human beings transform themselves into omnivorous, pack-hunting omnivores, you begin to see the first faint stirrings of self-reflection. You begin to get the fire pits and later the chipped flint leavings of earliest Neolithic human tool making. What this says to me is that there was a unique confluence of factors present in the evolutionary situation that were capable of kindling this ontological transformation of what had previously been the animal mind. And what I suggest this factor is, or was, psychoactive plants in the environment, specifically psychoactive plants in the grasslands environment in which human pastoralism evolved in Africa over 1 million years ago. The plant must be African. It must be extraordinarily noticeable in the environment. It must not be a deep forest endemic, because this is not where human evolution was taking place. The only plant which fits this description is a mushroom of the psilocybin-containing variety. And it's very easy to see, I think, that the presence then of psychoactive compounds of this sort in the early human diet set the stage for a number of structural and psychological changes. This means that those animals not including the psychoactive substance in their diet will be mitigated against and fade from the scene. And by this process, a steady bootstrapping process, self-reflection was born in our species. How do we get from visual acuity to self-reflection? Low doses of psilocybin give increased visual acuity. Medium-range doses of psilocybin give an increased interest in erotic activity. You should laugh. There may not be too many laughs with this one. Slightly higher doses of psilocybin give an experience of the numinosum, an actual contact with a mystery in the human psyche, which is no less mysterious to us today than it was to our ancestors when the last glaciation was retreating against Canada. I mean, don't kid yourself. In the face of the content of this symbiotic relationship, modernism, rationalism, positivism, all is exposed as just whistling past the graveyard. because the numinous depth of the mystery that seems to have called us out of the animal mind is completely impenetrable to modern analysis. That's why even discussing its presence is mitigated against so intensely. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on this early facet of the emergence thing. I want to move ahead and show that as pastoralism developed, as the domestic relationship between cattle, human beings, and mushrooms settled down into a self-reinforcing cycle of consciousness, language arose, religion arose, of the goddess-oriented variety, and the connection of the cow to the goddess is there at the dawn time. There is no question about it. Language seems to have been the particular prerogative of women in the early emergent phases. This is possibly because men were involved in hunting activities where great premium is placed on silent stealthiness, while women were engaged as gatherers in the hunting-gathering phase. Women were engaged in gathering plants. And as all botanists can tell you, gathering plants involves an extensive taxonomic
What's good, everybody?
So that the
Happy Hump Day to you.
Differences between cereal grains and insects and
middle of the week, halfway there,
need to be linguistically defined and characterized. And
found some fun Terrence McKenna this morning. Decided to cook up some trippy stuff.
You know, epically glabrous with lanceolate.
Where did all this intelligence start?
So on for many, many lines.
Was it mushrooms?
But in a strange way,
Terrence thinks he knows.
Over and over again,
he might be onto something.
Each advance somehow outsmarts itself.
So, today, I think we're going to get back into playing with Novum. I'm going to turn this off in the background. We played with it on stream on Monday, and super impressed, so I would like to dive back into it. And I kind of just want to play with a range of different things. I sat down to play with it last night, and I pressed a few keys and ended up just making a track. So I feel like playing with it while the inspiration is high and seeing what kind of stuff we can get up to. Saffron has requested that we play with some drums with it today, which we shall do. Stuff is saying resample it. Resample the track. Welcome in, by the way, Saf. Thank you so much for the sub. 56 months. 56 months. A long time. Zendremic is here, walking in the door with a bag full of gummies. Hope you are well. Iki. Yo, yo. Happy Hump Day to you. So yeah, we made a bunch of just kind of cool, weird stuff on Monday's stream. We're going to start with a fresh project. I think I only saved a couple of patches in there. So if we want to revisit any of that stuff, we got to go back to that project. Forward. Saf has requested some drums. I would like to play with a little more vocals and maybe some more like organic instruments. Liv is here. How you doing, Liv? Welcome in. But I also want to play with some more pads and some atmospheric stuff. I have some really fun ideas start bubbling up when playing with those things in this tool. So I want to revisit that. Yeah, who knows where we'll end up at the end of the stream. Vicky, what are you making over there? What's everybody got cooking today? Let's power down what's in here. Just a bunch of reactors. And so I'm going to open up an instance of switch. Up, down. Pull up an instance in Novum. Weird sounds. Yeah. Nice. Love that. Sound check. How's that? A little quiet? This all seems... Vicky, we do feedback streams normally on Fridays from about 10:30 a.m. Pacific to 1 p.m.-ish, sometimes 2 p.m.-ish. Sometimes we go long. But Fridays. This week, we're actually going to start early and end a little bit early. We've got a birthday in the family here on Friday, and we're going to do some celebrating. So to adjust the schedule just a bit. Ooh, midnight there, huh? Where are you? Indonesia. I like how fluid the aftertouch controls are. Pressure sense. Yeah, you can really get some things to swell the aftertouch. Take care, Vicky. All right, let's kind of stretch out by mutating this thing into something new. We'll start bringing in some audio. I'm going to change the envelope here just a bit. I'm going to dip this down in a couple of, get a little more dynamic range sound. Maybe. Saffron is saying, I don't think this synth could replace absinthe, but it's definitely on the level of absinthe. Oh, you mean in the the quality of the audio that you're getting? I want to listen to this one layer. Play around with level and amber just here. Ooh, it's nice. Cloudy. All right, next one. Okay, so I really like this one. I want to kind of move over this whole. It's kind of sitting in the same spot as this one right before it, and I have a little separation. I'm going to actually kind of redraw this. Now I'm just going to better. Respect the gazelle. Thank you so much, Liv. And DJ Empirical, where are you? I don't even see you in here. Are you lurking? Zeep Xanthorpe, you're here. Saf is saying, in regards to the absinthe comment, yeah, in like the layering of how you and the yeah, it's really quite fascinating, honestly. Yeah, okay, that's better. Much better arc. All right, now let's just check. Let's see if we can get just a little more. Kind of cool. Slightly less tone. Way down, we're gonna push the pan jitter most most of the way up here. Bring down the level. Okay, so things are gonna kind of crescendo in this sound around the same spot in a quite lovely. Gonna change a little bit. That's good. Okay, we're gonna. It's like. Very emotive, dramatic feel. Paul! How you doing, homie? Hope you're doing well. Oh, my voice is getting blocked. Okay, so I just recently down. How's voice? Man, playing this thing is like it's like sitting inside of a sound or something. Oh, one blip down, on to the next. Ooh, nice. Having fun building the multi-timbral sequencers. That's awesome. Um, oh, DJ Empirical says, oh, Chris, there's a fun new audio damage plugin, a 6-lane. And I got to set up a relationship with those guys. There's so much good stuff over there. Let's see what this thing is. Actually, let's go. Circa. Circa. So each layer can sync to host a master loop or free run and can be triggered in sync with audio signal or freely. 7 stereo outputs, including a dedicated Q output for monitoring, built-in reverb and delay. Shall we take a quick look at this thing? Can't full screen it. This interface. This thing happening over here in the corner. I helped them beta test it, made a track immediately. I bet. These guys always make really cool stuff. I'm going to needle drop just a few seconds ahead. That's right, he's a Chris, huh? This is great. So great. Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. And I really dig the interface. I like the aesthetic of it. Super dope. Ecosystem aware. In addition to drag and drop between the layers, Circa can drag its layers to the DAW or desktop. Circa's user presets are cross-platform compatible and work on any instance in Circa, whether on Mac OS. Yeah. Dude. Yeah, definitely gonna have to check this one out. They have so many good things now. They have just continued to put out such high number of cool things. Um yeah, seriously, all of them. I haven't played it all with Fall. Yeah, fantastic. I like that they call their other desert cities a delay workstation. I like that. Yeah, it's a super impressive looking kit. I have not played with it at all, but everything that I've heard come out of it has just been absolutely wonderful sounding. Appear to have downloaded this from. Okay, I made something. So let's save this really quick and put some sounds into this thing and see what. How about we call the now. Let's initiate this thing and let's go grab some stuff. You know what I'd like to do is kind of create a little experimental workflow between a couple of tools. Let's start with something really simple, like a little topper loop. And then what we'll do is we'll move in, making a couple of fresh uh, drum loops in one tool and then bring it in here. Then we can resample that a bit, have some fun. All right, so let's go over to packs here. And let's take about some granular toppers. Good old school granular. That's really simple. Should we start with something really simple? Let's do that. Okay, our audio has been decomposed. Polyphonic topper. Oh, wild. Pretty cool stuff. And what if we put, can we drag to an individual? Am I going? Uh, we're in granular toppers, and I was about to drag something. This one. Yes, we can. Second one. Whoa. Okay. So we have the and 8 multi-track. Ooh. Okay, knowing this, let's initiate this and see if we can make something kind of intentional. Let's take... This one should be pretty interesting. Let's put this on 1. Here, let's put this over here on this last one. And the funky frog topper. Interesting to pair with that other one. What is this going to do? Whoa. Ah. Evans the Bard is here. How you doing, Paul? Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. Yeah, this is a tool. It's brand new to all of us. It's actually been out for close to a couple years, I think, something like that. I know they were testing beta a couple years ago, so it's around a couple years old. Have not had the chance to play with it or any of the other stuff that they make, but they sent all their stuff over to me a couple of weeks ago, and we're diving into it for the first time here this week. So Monday we cracked it open for the first time and played. It was awesome. Very just super inspiring. Just in a nutshell, it is a granular synth that deconstructs sounds into 6 layers that you can then further manipulate grains and whatnot individually. You can also take a whole sound and put it in as one of the layers, or drop a sound in and have it deconstructed, and then just take one of those layers and add it to it. Mix and match across multiple types of sounds and start making weird hybrids of things. And we're just taking baby steps here to see exactly what kind of stuff we get up to in it. So I've just dropped in 2 slightly contrary poppers. I like this. This is a dope little texture loop here. Okay, so we've got these 2 rhythmic things here. Let's take and add something very different. Let's add, this will be weird. This will be really weird. Some modular clouds. These are loops that have come out of modular. This one might be kind of cool. Let's drop this one in there. Let's drop this on as just an individual layer. See how much audio it can hold inside here. That's dope. Okay, I'm gonna not use much jitter on the rhythmic layers, but I'm gonna start messing a bit more with this modular layer. I'm gonna jitter the time a whole bunch, skew the... Ayo. I'm gonna jitter the hand position of this noise hat guy. Okay, this thing is starting to feel like its own thing. That's a pretty dope little thing. That's so wonky. Oh, that makes me want to figure out some timing stuff and to like create weird little multi-track instruments here. Such a weird little thing. Down a bit, shall we? I'm gonna roll off some of these higher frequencies here. It's got some clonk to it for real. What's up, Funky Spud? How you doing, homie? Welcome in. It's been a minute. We're just playing today. This is Novum. This is a really weird granular tool that's just super left of center. Now, what if I go and I grab like one of those? So I made these atmospheres, right? This is the one that I made just a few minutes ago. So what if we take part of what's in there and into... So now we've got two funky granular drum toppers, and we've got a modular synth rig loop, and we've got an atmospheric thing in here. Pretty dope sound here. Right, Evans? If we put just a little bit of effects into play here, like let's see what we can do. Got let's do like a little bit of play. And you ought to welcome in. Yeah, some weird little sci-fi scene here unfolding. I'm sure this is not what Saf expected when he was saying, hey, we should process some drums. See what we get up to with some drums. Ooh, man, there's some magic in here. Let's go down like 6 octaves. Oh, now you see, now this would be great as a layer. Like this super minimal, slightly rhythmic, noisy output. This would be cool as a little subtle layer. You know, if you were to mix like a soft attack piano, like a felt piano, um, and like a bassoon or something like that, or a flugel, and uh, and then you start to roam the octaves with. Yeah, this thing is really interesting. Really, really. It's lots and lots of inspiration. All right, let's initiate this thing again. And this time let's put something a little bit more, we go a little more coherent or a little less coherent. Let's put something really vanilla in there, and then we'll do something not vanilla. Let's go some rainy day beats, maybe. Got a little kick loop, maybe. Let's take this kick. And now we've got. And what do we do here? Got take this guy, transpose one of these layers up a bit. Let's take one of these guys and we'll transpose him down a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. What if we detune just a bit? A little feedback on some comb in here. Nuts. Yeah, Paul, these are my own samples. Yeah. Okay, let's initiate this thing again. There's some really cool ideas running through my head right now. Let's go and grab maybe some creature sounds. I know I've just made some recently. That has a lot going on in it. Let's just take something like that. It's all like throaty and stuff. And if we take that, synthify. Wow. Yeah, it's so easy to make little like specific types of layers with it. It's also really wild. Let's take this. I'm just going to leave all of these parameters linked right now. Wild. Okay. How about initialize it again? And back to my packs here. Let's start with just a simple one shot. Maybe something from Sacred. How about something from Sacred? Speaking of absinthe, saffron. That is out of absinthe. Paul is asking, is NAB happening now? Any ADD updates? No, I'm not sure about NAB timing, honestly. J-Man, I'm running Logic, and we're playing with a tool called Novum today. It's a granular tool. Let's take this. This is a sound that I made in Absinthe, but it started with some recordings. Oh gosh. Okay. Um, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hit play on this thing. I'm going to go hit the bathroom. I'm going to come back. And we're going to make something. We're going to pick up somewhere around
Its
here.
variety, and the connection of the cow to the goddess is there at the dawn time. There is no question about it.
I'll be right back.
Language seems to have been the particular prerogative of women in the early emergent phases. This is possibly because men were involved in hunting activities where great premium is placed on silent stealthiness, while women were engaged as gatherers in the hunting-gathering phase. Women were engaged in gathering plants, and as all botanists can tell you, gathering plants involves an extensive taxonomic language, so that the minute differences between cereal grains and insects and all of these things need to be linguistically defined and characterized. And to this day, a taxonomic description of a plant is a Joycean thrill to read, because, subapically glabrous with lanceolate trifolium, and so on for many, many lines. But in a strange way that is a law repeated over and over again through history, each advance somehow outsmarts itself. And the wonderful linguistic depth which women attained as gatherers through the production of folk taxonomy eventually led them to a terrible discovery, the discovery of agriculture, because they learned that rather than maintain this vast library of shifting information about seasonal plants randomly distributed or distributed according to the whims of nature, they could in fact focus on a very small number of plants, learn how to grow these plants, learn their needs alone, and at that point the retreat was on, and the dualism was fully in place, and there was that which was domesticated, that which was of the hearth, and that which was of the Ausland, the howling unknown, that which was beyond the pale. I think it was West.
And Terrence just needed some music behind him constantly. Wouldn't that have changed things? Maybe he would have reached a wider audience had he just had a walking psychedelic orchestra behind. That'd be great. Life as spoken word. Paul, I did the stream on Monday with Novum. It was right after meeting up with you on Sunday, and I immediately started resampling this thing into Kontakt with other sounds like field recordings and stuff, and super transformative, really, really awesome. I definitely see how this fit into workflows quite easily. Will, how you doing, homie? Hey, you brought something by on Monday or on Friday, right? And I couldn't listen to it because I was going to MV. But if you still want yours on it, how are you, homie? How are things? Yeah, dude, absolutely. Happy to help you. All right, let's see how this. Let's figure out how this works. Okay, so we've got this. We get yep, just an ADSR. So now, if I go in and I shape this ADSR, I could say I want this thing to attack like this. Oh. Okay, so if I bring this back. Okay, and now if I back and I put that on. Dialing this up. Ah, yes, that is it. Okay, so now I just need. Okay. So then I could take, can I do that to any parameter? Say I add an, and I want that LF, like this. And wild. Huh, okay. And I can just remove. Bam, okay. Huh. Huh. Yeah, what a fascinating toy. I'm just my head is just filled with so many different ideas. Ah, more toys. The only thing you have to consider is your bank. Right? Right? Okay, let's see what Will has made. Yeah, toys are great. Live in a good time for toys. Let's see. Just one moment. Yeah, do this. Use stuff from Zev. Dude, this is great. I freaking love this one. It's so good. I love how minimal it is in nature. So when that bass swell first shows up, you really, really feel it. I kind of want that uh, to be felt kind of spatially a little bit different each time, right? So if you were to play with like if you were to put something really simple on it, like I use this tool all over the place. Um, it's a limiter, and it's really transparent. But the thing that I love most about it, maybe, is just the width control on it. You can add some stereo width, and not really affect anything else. But it's also got this foundation control, so you can emphasize some sub bass if you want to in the moment. Anyway, something like that where you can emphasize both width and gravity simultaneously, um, to kind of change our perception of just how, I don't know, nebulous this thing is. I don't know. It's so cool. Yeah, so much room to play. So much room. The perk in the intro, it seemed just a little bit reflective, like a little bit big at first. It totally makes sense once the whole mix is being experienced in context, or with it being in context with the rest of the mix. Be kind of cool to play around with that balance though, and see what it felt like to kind of tease the size of the environment, finally revealing like just how big the space is. It's that echo is ringing back right when the bass comes in. Um, Love the pairing of the bass synth and that little morphine element. It's so good. 214, the low rhythmic arc, I think it can come down like a good 6 dB, and then the wandering arp above it, I think it can have greater presence. I was thinking that you could even bring it in and out of focus with your reverb, and then play with your delay tails over time in really cool ways. So you've got that OG signal, and then you've got these delays that get affected in different ways, and they kind of keep coming back in different ways. Um, and in this section, like 2 minutes later, kind of feels like you could double down on that wandering arp. Um, Maybe even just straight up double the MIDI and everything, and just put a second voice in, like a totally new voice in there, and then play with the balance. I think it might be kind of cool. 530, I feel like listening to the bass, it felt like it was kind of in this one position the whole time, and I think it has the ability to handle more character change over time. Maybe even just a little bit of a growliness to it at a couple of points, where you get that darker bass coming in and making the whole thing moody. Yeah, Control 4 official. That is exactly what we're doing. It's exactly what we're looking at Novum and just kind of playing. We cracked it open for the first time on Monday's stream. Made some interesting things. I freaking love it. I totally endorse it. It's great. If you want to play around with it, there's a 90-day demo that's unrestricted. I've got some links here for you guys too. It's on sale in one spot, and then you get a free synth in a different spot if you are interested in picking it up right now. So I put some links here. I did the homework on it. Okay, so I'll just copy it from that spot for. What does it do? I will show you. I will show you. Okay, so those are the two places where you can. Oh, you have it. You've just never used it. Okay, well then, in that case, skip all that. It's pretty dope. Um, Will, I love your track, dude. I think that's it on the feedback for it. That's all I have for it. Let me know how the show goes on Friday, and good luck. Okay, so in a nutshell, Novum, if you were to drop a sound in here, it's going to deconstruct that sound into 6 different partials, let's call them, and in those partials, you've got grain control, timbre control, effects control, etc. But you can then mix and match and layer different parts of sounds or whole sounds in as layers, um, and then start to commingle things in new and exciting ways. So you could have part of a layer that's from a piano and part from a synth and part from a cat screeching or whatever. Or you could keep it all basically same exact sound, individual layers with slightly different timbre and playback controls to make it more organic and moving. It can also be highly transformative. Drop a drum loop in here or a vocal, you can get like combish, vocodish, spectralish kind of results in addition to granular stuff. Um, it's cool. It's cool. It's very left of center in regards to how it is approaching everything. So for instance, in the timbre tab here on any one of your layers, you have this timbre flower, and clicking on any one of these little dots will take you further away from normal. Normal being in the center. This is noisy over here. Airy, I think, and then synthy down here. And then there's an envelope control, which is just, you can just draw in your waveform, which is super, super nice. And then there's the synth tab, the synthify tab, which allows you to kind of pseudo transform whatever you're making into this kind of analog-ish thing. It adds resonance and noise and saturation. And then there's the effects tab, which allows you to create your own custom effects racks and feed signals through these effects in parallel and tandem. And then there's your modulation, where you can select which modulator you want to affect here on the right, your work over here, assign things by clicking on a parameter, highlighting it, and then dialing up or down on these assignment. Make your assignments. Over here is all of your saved patches and the presets in the library, but if you click on one, it will actually disclose the 6 discrete layers or partials that make up that whole complete patch. And you can literally just drag from one and drop it in here on a layer, or you could drop it up here. So really interesting stuff. Yeah. So yes, you can drop samples in there. Control 4 official is asking, is it a sampler, synth, or effect processor? And the answer would be yes, I guess. I don't think we can load it as an effects plugin. I don't think that's possible. Let's look. Okay, so what you would do is you would drop a sound in and then play it at its root note. Dial in the effects that you want. And then you've basically got an effects processor for it. So really interesting stuff. Really, really interesting stuff all the way around. This is, I've just dropped a sound in from one of my packs. This is a sound, remembrance, add. It's something that I made bringing a mallet recording into Absinthe a while back when I first released this pack, which was, what, 6 years ago now. But then that sound, that little sample, is now transformed into this. So interesting. Okay, so I want to change. What if I was to go through this entire thing one by one? Switch the. I get a quick atmosphere. Sounds. Oh, wow. Trent Reznor much? Just nuts. Just nuts. Okay, I'm gonna initialize this. And we're gonna put some dialogue in here quick. Put in. You know what? There's brand new samples waiting for everyone that is currently subscribed to Twitch channel. It's waiting in the subscriber rewards channel here on the Discord. So if you are currently subbed, make sure that you grab your sounds. It's like a few hundred dialogue samples.
When the tip of the finger touches that hot surface, a number of things happen and happen fast.
And this is one of the sounds from. Let's go ahead and drop that in.
When the tip of the finger touches that hot surface, a number of things happen and happen fast. When the tip of the finger touches that hot surface, a number of things happen and happen fast. When the tip of the finger touches that hot surface, a number of things happen and happen fast. When the tip of the finger touches that hot surface, a number of things happen and happen fast. When the tip of the finger touches that hot surface, a number of things happen and happen fast.
I've just spread these out to be normal, octave up, octave down, 5th and 7th or something. So they're all playing back at their own little speed here. If we were to put a phaser in here and put the phaser up here before the chorus. Some trippy stuff. Paul said, it's all way too much fun. Control 4 says, this is what LSD sounds like. And tastes like. Let's save this patch. So now the nice thing about this patch is that now that this is a patch, we've like created some stuff here. We can start bringing some other things in here. If I go back to my timbre control, which one I pitch shift? This guy right here, center. I think I'll take this one. I'm going to replace this. I'm going to put in there, put in some space dust. That would be. You know what we could do? Let's put in weird little stings from one of my automatic packs. That's pretty. That would be. Let's do this. Flutter. It's just some feedback. So now we're getting into some interesting. Now that is the beginning of a dope sample. Take this. Now let's also just take the up. And let's jitter the position just a bit here, and we'll skew it back just. Okay, now in our layer that is not affected currently in pitch, let's take that guy. We're going to start jittering, playback time, playback is occurring. There we go. I've got like a little ambiguity in there. Go up a couple of octaves. Happen. I can hear like some food, some source material for some magic spells and some bass sound. Oh, this is dope. Oh, let's go in here and add some distortion. That's sick. This is like a little backing track for some really deadly dark techno or something. That's some pretty cool. Yeah, just wild, wild stuff. And then if we wanted to, then just take, we could feed that into a layer that can also out. Yeah. I mean, this is just freaking priceless right here. Yeah, LSD even, Paul. Yeah, the better deal here might be clicking on the link that I put in the chat that goes to Plugin Boutique, because there's another synth that comes with it this month that looks pretty interesting. It's a wave slicing. I've not played with it, so it may not even worth the price of it, which is free, but it might be really super cool. Yeah, this is super dope right here. The problem is I wonder how big the preset would be. If I was to embed, because there's an option in here to embed samples in the patch, which I will now do. And I will save the patch. Say new patch. So now if I go, can I please? Okay. This a 15 megabyte, 15.2 megabyte patch versus the other one is a 36K. So to save these as monolithics, I can see a preset pack getting up there, but check this out, you guys. If a bunch of you in the community had Novum, I can then create a bunch of monolithic presets, put them into a preset pack for Novum, and then you get new food for your Novum. Some OhmLab inside. Kind of like Intel inside, but better. Yeah, Paul, I think Plugin Boutique does a really great job of like helping with that discovery factor. When you buy something, you get the free thing. The other thing it's really great for is just managing all of your freaking updates. Having all of your plugin updates in one place is pretty nice. I love this because at these different octaves, I can make a really kind of emotive yet ambiguous thing. I can get at least, I don't know, 3 to 5 different sellable products out of each sound, right? At least, like without actually composing anything. This is just madness. This is great. Put a kick on here. Feed the Novum at your own risk. Yeah. Okay, let's try a little experimental workflow, shall we? Let's start with fresh instance of kontakt. Now, in kontakt, nice, Seb. That's fantastic. Let me know if you've heard anything here on stream that you want sent your way. Okay, so I'm going to load up kontakt here, and it's going to take get up to any Empire breaks in. You are weak. You are inspired. That's how I just read that. Should not take. I think I need to update my content. Inspired. It almost feels like I have reset kontakt somehow and it's lost all of the fast load. Some stuff. All right, yo, let's do this. All right, this is just a 2-bar beat. So we've got this guy. Where are we? I need to go. All right, so here is our. We're going to take and we're going to put that right in Novum. Take off this. Oh, you know what? That's just a 1-bar. A 2. Still. All good. Initialize the patch. We're going to bring in that 1-bar loop. Okay, so it looks like it might be a 2-bar default. Okay, so let's do this. Let's extend this to bars. We are learning. I'm going to figure out the limits of this thing. Okay, so we've got a nice little 2-bar now. And that in. Will, you are welcome. Enjoy the new toy. Be productive out there. All right, so we're going to initialize this patch again. This one, which is 2-bar. Oh, and let's go just cycle. Out just a little bit. Yeah, we're close. We're close. We're close. All right, now let's take and I created some weirdness on Mondays. Let's take and put a little bit of that weirdness in with the light. Eh. I want to see if there's a way. I have no idea if this is possible, but I want to see if there is kind of listen. If we can get one sound reacting other sound. Let's see. That's too bad. I was hoping we could maybe gate a. We could set up an LFO. I don't know if the LFO is robust enough to. Oh yes, it does. It has a square wave. So we could set up a. Go. I don't think it can. All right, but while we're here, let's see what we can do with it. Let's say. There it is. There's our sound. Oh, weird. The timbre flower? It feels like it might be spectral. I'm crazy. Can one sound modulate another? Paul is asking. I was just trying to figure out the same thing, and I don't think it can. I don't think we are there with the stuff. Let's take I've got a bunch of off the wall sounds. Oh, let's see what this one sounds like inside of. How you doing, Zen? What'd you end up eating? That's wild. Okay, so what's the easiest way to? If it's just a matter of multi-tracking, some set both of the. Right, so bring this guy in gently. Paul, take care, homie. Nice, Syndromic. Nice. Okay, so I want to keep this top texture going. So I'm just going to go in here and we're going to play around. So let's do a little nested delay. This one a little short. Fair number. I'm going to send that through another one. Longer. Out of both of those. Now both of those are going. I'm just going to take and add a cloud. We're going to big and see. So now we're going to have an atmosphere track. Oh no, Zendromic. Just instant cinema. So now we can take these two patches from Novum and we can tandem, we can bounce and place a few different one shots. Both are might be big. I'm thinking like maybe upwards of a minute of audio. And then bring those into contact with some field recording stuff. I think that this is basis for a really, really cool instrument. Pack of sounds. Zen is saying mouse is fine. It's the Naga with the like 20 buttons that comes in. Now I need to install auto hotkey. Terrible. Again. Dude, yeah, it sucks when you have to have like multiple pieces of software to manage something essential. Not good. Yeah, that atmosphere now, that really kind of harsh rhythmic thing turned into this nice long exhale kind of. Okay, so let's create. I'm in the right one. We're going to make this a bit wider. We're going to go into. We're going to start messing with our position. Skew this thing a fair bit. For the stereo, the band position, quite a bit. Lovely. Now we're going to add some soft clip. Okay, now we're going to add a bunch of and bring back in our other sound. Zendremic. The thing that really makes this stand out from other granular tools is the fact that it, at its core, it takes, instead of dealing with a sound, it takes a sound and it deconstructs it in 6 different partials. If you play those 6 partials back in tandem and they equal the whole sound, you start taking some away, parts of that sound start to disappear. Now, within each one of those partials is your granular controls. So you can begin to mix and match components of different sounds, pieces of different sounds together to make a new whole instrument. Pretty fascinating stuff, especially for pads and drones and atmospheres, I'm finding. It's really, really, really incredible. We can make these all so emotive because we can take and use like pressure control. Like here, if we take this, we'll add pressure. Now in pressure, we're going to assign that to our intensify. Add just a little there. We're going to add soft distortion to our pressure. Now, play pad chord here. I'm going to apply some pressure. I'm going to add some dirt, that as well. And I might actually bring down the frequency cutoff. We apply our pressure. Yes, you have full control over each of the 6 layers. You have timbre control, envelope control, modulation control. So you get to affect your grain performance, individual voicing. You can swap out individual layers with layers from other sounds entirely if you want. This is a lovely little combo here, these two. I like that the velocity is so separate. And look, you can see the individual voices being followed here. And this is the other Novum that we've got cooking. So if you want to look at them both side by side, the atmosphere is on the left. Tonal stuff is on the right. Yeah, this is also doing some other stuff in here too, Syndromic. It's got some, I think, some spectral stuff baked into this synthify component, which allows you to kind of analog synth out of whatever you're making. It basically adds some resonance and some noise and sustained tonality. Stuff. Yeah, quite lovely. So if I was to take just a key, and we could record something, so we could include a bunch of channel pressure, that, you know, create more variety and whatnot. Or we could just do this. Say, let's take and add maybe 16 bars here. And add, oops. C3. Okay, so we've got these two sounds. We're going to bounce those in tandem here. Paul, I hope you feel better, homie. Rest. All right, so now we've got this new wave file. And it's a combination of those two sounds. So we can now an instance of kontakt. Or we could put a different, we could put this into something else. We could put this into Sound Painter. I'm just going to put this into kontakt for now. Stream. Where am I here? Add this into kontakt. So now we are resampling that pad that we just made. It's two instances of Novum. And we're going to make this awesome. We're going to add some tape saturation and stuff. Go into my wave editor. We're going to create a sustain lane here. And we'll do this, and we'll say that this to back and forth until then it will go back to larger loop for solution. Saturation. Grab a stomp here. Grab a... This is now resampled Novum. We're playing chords from that one original scene. So we'll get a little more cloudy down here. Oh, that's such a low sound. So let's go find a little field record. Do some Thailand. Farmers market at some... How about some sounds in a small village around dawn? This is pretty nice. We're going to take and we'll do these separate. I think ultimately I'm going to end up putting all of these into one instance, make real nice instances out of each. I'm going to play this keep forward. I think the other thing we do is we change the playback mode. So for our wave editor, instead of direct from disk, we're going to do time machine. It's just reloading our sample in. And what this will do is it'll allow us to play different notes on the keyboard and trigger our sample, but not affect the playback speed. So we'll get a change in pitch as we go up and down the keys, but it's not going to make it sound like a chipmunk. Speed-wise. Change that one more time. This is going to be pro. There we go. Now we've got it. All right, so as nice as this is, I feel like it's still missing a layer, like a kind of a washy. So maybe each one of these actually needs just a few sounds into. Right. Well, you know, each thing that I've put into a resample situation now from Novum out just absolutely gorgeous on the other side. So I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys. Just in case anyone out there is, it really is fun. Should we get a little weird with it? It does sound really nice, right? That's something interesting. We were just playing with some ambience, so we can take that same exact field recording. Take a sample. Yeah. Am I not getting sound from this guy? It's awesome. I think there's a little lag with really large files for fully processed. Okay, so let's see how quick and easy it is to make something alien. Here's a field recording. We're just going to play with the timbre. It's here. Okay, so now we've affected the timbre of each one of these things. Remek is asking, how is it on CPU? And I'm actually right now I'm experiencing something kind of weird with it, where it's not playing audio, and I think it's because of the size of the sample. That's I put a 2-minute sample in here, and because of that, I'm seeing the CPU creep up. But let me just take it back down to a regular size sound. Like if we play one of these that I made earlier. Not CPU intensive. Oh, maybe a little bit. Oh, missing sample. It looks like when you start using multiple voices and you've got a bunch of effects with really long processing times on it, yeah, it does look like it's off. So let me just turn off everything else in my project, get a really good, clear indication of just how much. Yeah, Zendremic it is, and honestly, I would really recommend getting into that habit anyway. There's a couple different reasons. One is that when you dial in the playback that you want, like when you're getting something out of your synths that you want, it's a really good idea to bounce it in place right then and there because things deviate over time in a um, it's a good thing to know exactly what you're going to get upon playback each time if you're looking for, you know, control. Leaving stuff in synths just in its like raw MIDI form also leaves your projects a bit more susceptible to time because of compatibility and other things. It's entirely possible that you open up an older project and simply cannot get the output that you were expecting. Change over time, etc., and you lose track of those things because you're not in that project anymore. For what it's worth. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. When you're going for like the more kind of like, you know, fresh commingling of sounds and discovery, then letting your stuff render, it's fine. Man, what a fun toy. What a fun toy. I can't help but find myself feeling like a bit heady after playing with this thing for a little while. It's so easy to do the ambient stuff with it. All right, well, like I mentioned previously, we did get a whole bunch. We got all of their tools sent to us, so we'll dive into each one at a time together. There's a sampler. They've even got a DAW over there. There's a couple of synths. There's some distortion, some cool tools. DAW, yeah, DAW, yeah. There will also be. We haven't talked about it yet here on the stream, but there will also be yet another new DAW to be aware of soon. But it's like a multiplayer DAW, and OhmLab will be a part of sound in there. So, way to create, just in general. Yeah, so many DAWs. Welcome to the next level, DAWing. I know I haven't really talked about it yet. There is a new DAW. It'll be unveiled soon. Right now, it's just kind of kicking around in a early beta form, and there's some early adopters participating in testing. But wouldn't it be neat if there was a DAW out there, library was kind of built of the DNA? That'd be interesting. And wouldn't it be cool if it was a multiplayer DAW where other people could be participating with you in building something? It could be pretty interesting. We shall see. We shall see how these things go. We'll have more information on that one the coming week. Should be pretty interesting. But I shall say no more. No, we'll say more. We'll say more when it's appropriate. Probably in a week. Shakes fist at clouds, right? Right? Super unfair. So unfair. But also kind of fun. A little bit fun. But we'll have more announcements on that soon. We will. I promise you. let's it's one, and personally I need to be a bit more productive today than I have been for the first 2.5 days so far this week. So I think we're going to call this one good. I'm going to go see who is streaming right now, and we'll go visit them. We're going to do Feedback Friday a little bit early on Friday. I'll put up a note in the Discord about it, but we're going to meet an hour and a half earlier and earlier than usual. Well, celebrating a birthday over here. Got to make time for all that. All right. Who is streaming right now? And Ari at home is still going out on the streets with the rig. Let's go see how they're doing. It's been quite a minute. It's been quite a big, long minute since we've rated them. So let's go see what they're doing. They're walking around in the streets somewhere with a fun little synth rig here. I'm going to go ahead and hit raid here. I will see you guys in 2 days' time. Show up early. Show up early on Friday. Get your stuff into the queue really early because it's going to be an early stream. Until then, I appreciate you. And I hope you stay inspired and make something awesome today. Peace out.